Local Outbreak with IPMNation.com.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to this week's Local Outbreak on IPM Nation and 100.1 The Planet. Matt Connarton from IPMNation.com here with you. And, of course, we feature New Hampshire-based music on the show and occasionally even some other New Hampshire-related projects that fall into the arts category. So we have something really unique for you this week. I did a phone interview the other day with my friend Rob Kleiner. Now, a little bit about Rob, and if you're a longtime listener of Local Outbreak or you've been a longtime follower of the New Hampshire music scene, you might already be familiar with Rob Kleiner. Rob has been not only a solo artist, but he's been in many bands, many really great bands that we have featured on the show. We've interviewed Rob many times over the years on Local Outbreak, and Rob, in fact, was actually a part of the show at one point, a regular part of Local Outbreak, doing sound engineering and recording for the show many years ago. So I've known Rob for a long time. He's been ensconced in the New Hampshire music scene for a long time, and has done some other projects as well. So the main thing that we were discussing on during our interview the other day was he has a new website, and he's done other websites too related to music and news, like yourband.info, for example, which is all about the New Hampshire music scene. His new website is called newsflector.com. And Newsflector is a news site, but it's specifically for the state of New Hampshire, so it is local to the Granite State. So we're going to talk about that, but don't worry, the music part is still in the discussion because one of the great things about this website, Newsflector, is that it does contain reviews and interviews with New Hampshire-based musicians. So even as Rob branches out with this newest site, this newest media venture into some hard news and politics and all of that, there's still also a very heavy emphasis on music as Rob continues to, in one form or fashion, continues to remain connected to the New Hampshire music scene and active in it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share with you this interview that we did. We'll probably split it up into a couple of segments. And then after that, we'll feature some of the music from some of the artists' names who were mentioned during my conversation with Rob Kleiner. So it's a wide-ranging discussion. We don't just talk about Newsflector, but that is kind of the main topic of discussion. Newsflector.com. It's a great site. You should check it out. And without further ado, here's part one of my recent conversation with Rob Kleiner. And joining us on the line now, my old friend Rob Kleiner. How are you, Rob?
I'm good. How about yourself, Mr. Connarton?
Very well, very well. It's wonderful to talk with you. It's been a while. And
I don't know the exact amount of time, but I want to say it's at least been a few years. We've been friends for the better part of 20, and it's been a long delay since the last time I've had the pleasure of hearing your voice.
Oh, well, same here. I think we've been friends longer than 20 years. I think it's been closer to 25, believe it or not. Or at least
has it been? Well, yes, I think we met. Yeah, closer. I don't think it's quite 25, but I will.
Right.
I will agree to almost 25.
Yeah. It's mind-boggling. And so welcome to the show. And you've got something brand new to talk about. And actually, too, you're brand new on the program. We've never had you on this particular show before, so it's great to have you on. But tell us about your new media venture.
I thought we were going to talk about my new socks that I got. I was excited about those.
Well, we can
talk about that too.
Yeah, we have time for both.
So it started a new website. It's called newsflector.com. Basically, it is a news and information site. It's going to it focuses on the New Hampshire area, but it does cover national and world news, politics, arts, sports, health, New Hampshire news, regular just news, all going to be on there. We're going to have a lot of focus on local arts and local politics. That's what we're doing.
When did this start? How new is it?
This is very new. So my forays into the internet world. Previously, I've done local music websites and some other things. This one actually started 2 weeks ago, so we're pretty darn new on the map.
It's extremely new, yeah. And why did you decide to do this? What drew you into? Because this is not your first foray into this type of site, but why did you decide to start Newsflector?
So there's a lot of media out there, correct? You know, you can get the national news from any number of places, whether it is CNN, Fox News, or any other place. Local news, you can even get local news from places like Concord Monitor, Union Leader, WMUR. So it's not anything that's new or unable to be obtained in other locations. I just want to sort of cover some of the things that maybe people aren't covering at all. You know, for example, if you were to go to our website right now, which is newsflector.com, the top article on there right now is an album review of Andrew North. The availability in Andrew North is from New Hampshire, a local musician. He has a new solo album that came out, and it's a review of that. It's something that you can't really find other places in mass quantities. You know, some other news outlets might have a review once a month. We're hoping to do that a lot more.
Yeah, I think that's great. And, you know, obviously, like you were saying, there's a lot of media out there, but, you know, to have something that kind of caters to a specific niche, like, for example, here in Manchester, we have Manchester Inklink, which is a very popular news site run by Carol Robideau, who, you know, she's on the morning show every morning, and you know, it's her tagline is Manchester Inklink, where all things Manchester connect. But this is great that you've done something that's statewide, and you know, and mixes in some national stories as well. I'm looking at the site right now, and it's very nice, very easy to navigate. Do you have? I mean, how many people are working on this with you? Do you have, like, I just imagine, you know, a room full of people, like a staff and everybody in front of MacBooks, and or maybe not because, you know, of social distancing. Maybe everyone works from home, or maybe this is you doing all this work. I don't know. I mean, what's the situation there?
We have 3,000 people hunkered down in a 2-bedroom apartment on the Lower East Side of Manhattan.
That sounds extraordinarily unsafe, sir. I hope they're at least wearing masks.
I'm kidding. No. So primarily, this is the computer end of everything is being done by me. I do write a lot of the content, but I do have a number of volunteers. Nobody's paid, neither am I, to help be contributors to create this content. So 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 10 to 15 different people that are submitting information to get out there to sort of cover different aspects of health and sports and what have you.
Oh, that's fantastic. I would imagine, I mean, this is an enormous commitment, right? I mean, you must be extraordinarily busy, you know, and you've always been, I mean, you know, you're like me in this regard, I think. You know, you're someone who likes to be very busy, have a lot of different things going on, different things that you're involved in. This, I assume, I mean, tell me if I'm wrong, but this is probably one of the largest time commitments you've made, right? As far as a venture like this?
Sure. I mean, it does take up a lot of my time. I think, you know, I don't want to thank the isolation of COVID that spurred this on, but, you know, not having time to go to Target or Walmart because I have to remain in my house, you know, gave a little extra time to devote to this.
No.
But yes, to your point, I've always been someone who wants to stay busy.
Yeah.
Back in my days of college going to UNH, I think it was like my second day of classes, I had a professor, and it stuck with me. And, he said there's 24 hours in a day. You sleep 8 of them. You go to a job for another 8 of them. What are you doing with the rest of that 8?
Mm-hmm.
Make it productive. Don't just watch, Survivor.
Right. I forget who it was now. There was something I was reading. It was a motivational speaker. I don't think it was Tony Robbins, but somebody had written something about if you don't have enough time. Your comment about watching Survivor made me think of this. If you don't have enough time in your day, if you feel like you just don't have enough time in your day to get done all the things that you need to do, and that's what's holding you back from doing what you really want to do, there's a very, very easy way to immediately find all the time you could ever possibly need, and it's simply stop watching television. You do that one thing, and all of a sudden, you've got all this time, because Americans, and it's probably prevalent in other cultures too, but in American culture, we do spend an awful lot of time in front of the television. I mean, and once you stop that, you really can fit in a great deal.
Yeah, and to your point, if you ask the average American, and I'm making up my own statistics, so don't Google these to see if I'm accurate, but I'm sure if you ask the average American, they could list off a few television programs that are their favorite television programs, and television programs are on, once a week. So if they have a few favorite, then they're watching multiple hours a day, or to instead of doing something. So I'm one who doesn't really watch a lot of TV.
I'll same here.
Watch it from. I have TVs in my house. Don't get me wrong. I have nothing wrong with TV.
Yeah.
But I couldn't tell you what is on TV right now. I can tell you what's on Netflix. But
Right. I'm always astonished. I know this is a little bit of a sidebar, and we'll refocus in a second, but I'm always astonished at how, there's people, I'm sure people like this. I've met so many people like this who are up on all the popular TV shows, and they're actively watching them all. And I don't understand how anybody has time, like anybody who works a full-time job and has a family and this and that, how they have time to watch as much television as people do, how they stay up on all this programming. It's mind-blowing to me. Like some of these people, it's like, have you figured out a way to bend space and time? You're like, oh, you talk to somebody and they're like, oh yeah, the other day I binged watched the entire first season of Billions, that show with Paul Giamatti, which does look very good. I am curious about it, but it's like, how did you have time to do that? Like, don't you have other things to do? But then again, I'm a hypocrite, because a couple years ago, when that new Karate Kid series, Cobra Kai, showed up on YouTube Red, Jenny and I did binge watch the entire first season in a weekend. So but that's why
I wanted to watch that, but I didn't want to pay for it.
Right. Well, you know what? I actually actively avoid things that I want to watch, just so I don't get sucked in and end up binge watching them. But somehow I got sucked into that, and then it was all over. I think I watched a few episodes, and then I told Jenny, I was like, you got to see this.
And I think, you said we'll talk about this for a second, then bring it back. But I think this is sort of one of the impetuses of why this site came about. One of the things is, people are doing a lot more Facebook. They're doing a lot more watching TV and their Facebook at the same time.
Right.
People are stretched more thin in perception of what they have for extra time. So a lot of our articles are much shorter and easier to digest than some other articles. So if you're reading, I'll bring it back to Andrew North, who is our review. If you read a review in Rolling Stone, and I'm just picking on them, they do have their reviews that are like obviously 3 sentences long sometimes, but it's a couple pages long for their interview with Britney Spears or whomever. These are all paragraphs, so it's easy to digest, easy to get through, which I think sort of goes hand in hand with the generation of Netflix binge watchers who don't have the time because they're watching Karate Kid.
Right.
This gets them the information in front of them and helps with the misinformation that sort of comes from, Facebook.
Right. Yeah, exactly. oh, goodness knows, there's all kinds of, I mean, a lot of people, and you know this, a lot of people get they get all the information that they think they need from memes, from Facebook memes, and then they go around repeating it as fact, and it's very discouraging. And of course, their imaginations just fill in the blanks of what wasn't already answered by the meme from which they got their quote-unquote news. So, no, I think this is a great service.
Local Outbreak with IPMNation.com.
Welcome back to Local Outbreak on IPM Nation and 100.1 The Planet. Matt Connarton from IPMNation.com here with you. And now here is the second part of my recent interview with musician and journalist from the great state of New Hampshire, Rob Kleiner. And is this your first foray into this kind of journalism? Or I feel like you've done some other things kind of in line with this, correct?
So I used to have a site that was Silence Do Good Gazette that lasted for a little bit doing political commentary.
Yeah.
Which although this site does have political commentary, this one has less political commentary than other articles, just because in where we are right now, the commentary sort of, I think, sometimes muddies the water. Mm-hmm. So I try to give the news with maybe a little bit of commentary on there, but try to stay as much to what is going on as opposed to commentary, although it is there, and I'm not going to say that there isn't spin, because there's spin in all media. So Sure. Yeah, absolutely. And then what is kind of your future plans for this? Is Newsflector are you going to be expanding it in any way? Or are you going to kind of I like the format the way it is. It's very simple, very clean. I assume you're probably consistently looking for more people to contribute content to it, right? Yeah, we always will sort of accept some people who want to help write articles. Obviously, there's a limit to what we can print and what we can accept. But we have our contact information on there. Certainly reach out if it's something that you're looking to do. You can reach out to us. Always looking for volunteers to join in. But yeah, we're looking to grow. Each week we have targets for how many unique users we're reaching, especially in a geographic region. I know we're only, 2 weeks in, but we have our modest goals are to reach 1,000 unique users a day by the end of next week. So we're on target for those goals. It's not a lot, if you consider the monitor. I think we'll get like 50,000 a day. So
sure,
nowhere near that.
Right. Well, but that's I think you're well positioned for what you're doing. Like I said, the site looks great. It's very clean, which is important because obviously, again, as you know,
yeah, we sanitize everything. It's very clean.
Good. Yeah, no COVID on your site. No, but as you know, so many people now, in fact, probably the majority of people, I don't know the percentages, but I do know that more and more people all the time are consuming this type of content on mobile devices. So it's very, very important, because I remember a time when probably maybe a decade ago, maybe more, but there was a time when the philosophy, just sort of in a broader sense, not necessarily with news sites specifically, but there was a broader philosophy that a website should be as heavy as possible in terms of content, because you needed it to look like it has a lot on it, so you look like you have a lot going on. So websites would tend to be very, very heavy. And then, less than a decade ago, but maybe close to it, the trend really kind of shifted and went in the other way, because so many people now are consuming all kinds of content, not just news, on their mobile devices, on their cell phones, on their tablets, etc. So it's so important now to, you can have a lot of content in a site, but it's so important to have a very clean look and very easy to navigate, which you've certainly accomplished here. I mean, not to blow smoke, but honestly, I mean, it looks great. and it's very easy to navigate, but there's also a lot there, and there's different categories, and I really like the layout, and I think you've done a great job, Rob. I really do.
Thank you. I totally agree with everything that you're saying about how websites in general have progressed. I've been doing websites since 1996.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I forgot.
Exactly your point of, back then and up until like 2010 or so, it was exactly that. You're designing the site to be viewed on a computer screen, and you want as much content and as much clickable things and as many scrolly things as you possibly could fit on there to sort of catch your eye.
Yeah.
This site is actually, although it's desktop, it works fine on a desktop, it works fine on a tablet and a mobile phone. It is really heavily designed to work the best on a mobile device. Mm-hmm. It works great on a desktop as well.
Yeah.
But it's really designed for mobile device because that is where a lot of our audience is coming from. Looking at the stats, we're about 60% mobile phones, 10% for tablets. But when you're on your phone, you don't want a lot of clutter. So that's what we're trying to accomplish with that. Right.
Absolutely. Well, Rob, congratulations on this. I think it's great. Newsflector.com. That's a cool, I like the name too. That's a cool name.
It was input from a local musician and fantastic person, Lucas Gallo, who sort of helped craft that. I'll give him a little shout out.
Yeah, absolutely. Before we wrap up, Rob, anything else you want to mention or anything? Are you doing anything musically? Do you have anything else that you want to plug or put out there?
I'm not doing anything musically at the moment. The only thing music that I'm doing is on this site for doing local music reviews. So I guess my closing would be if you're in a band. I've been in struggling bands for as long as I've known you, Connarton, I guess would be the way to put it. So if you're in a band, reach out to us. I want to help bands. I know how hard it is. I know the struggles they can have getting a booking agent, getting a show, getting a review. Reach out to us. We'll get you a review up on our site. Help you out. Wonderful.
And there is, of course, as you mentioned, a contact link on the website, newsflector.com. So wonderful. All right, Rob. Well, thank you. Thank you so much for your time, for calling in today. We should definitely do this more often. And this has been great, man. Yeah, congratulations again. And thank you so much for talking with us today.
Yep. Thank you for having me on. I look forward to the next time we speak.
All right. Anytime. You got it, Rob. Thank you so much, my friend. Take care.
Bye, Matt.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right, wonderful. The great Rob Kleiner. Yeah, and not only, by the way, we mentioned bands. He's been in some great bands over the years. Rob and I have done a lot of work together. We've played shows together, not in the same band, but actually, Rob and I forgot about this. Rob and I have been in the same band, just not at the same time. There was a band called The Jinxed, and I was the bass player for The Jinxed, and Rob had replaced me in The Jinxed temporarily, and then I ended up back in The Jinxed. So actually, Rob and I have been in the same band, just not at the same time. But Rob is a fantastic person, and I met Rob when he came to work for me at a music retail chain. I guess I can say what it is because it doesn't exist anymore. Strawberries, back in the mid to late 90s. On Loudon Road in Concord, New Hampshire. That was where Rob and I first met. I hired him there. And, and we've worked together on many things and became great friends ever since. So wonderful to talk to Rob Kleiner again. The website is newsflector.com.
Local Outbreak with IPMNation.com.
Welcome back, everybody. It's Local Outbreak on 100.1 The Planet. And IPM Nation, Matt Connarton from IPMNation.com. And it was wonderful talking with journalist and musician from the great state of New Hampshire, Rob Kleiner. Really enjoyed that a lot. And I think what we should do next is feature something from one of the artists that we talked about during our conversation that is also featured. A review of his album is featured in the new site Newsflector, Rob Kleiner's new site. Andrew North. And let's play something from Andrew North. This is from the album. Now, there's a review of the album, of course, in Newsflector, the new Andrew North album titled, and I'm going to try to say this. It's a very long name, all one word, Alamagusalam. I think I did it right, or Alamagusalam. And the name of the track is Toteedle. I'm pretty sure I said that correctly. So let's give this a listen. Toteedle from Andrew North and his new album, Alamagusalam. Up next on this week's Local Outbreak. That's Toe Teetler from Andrew North, as his new album has just been reviewed in newsflector.com, Rob Kleiner's new site. And another recent artist review in newsflector.com is by Lucas Gallo, another name that did come up during my conversation with Rob Kleiner, and I figure we'll play something from that too. Lucas Gallo's new album, From the Attic. This is also brand new, just came out. By the way, Lucas Gallo has been interviewed on the show before. I don't remember if I talked to him as a solo artist, but he's also from the band Jam Antics. So I definitely spoke to him on the show with the full band. But anyway, this is from Lucas Gallo's new solo album, From the Attic, and this is called By the By. Next on Local Outbreak.
Enjoying the ride, inch by inch and piece by piece, slouching towards eternity, and I will find my way by the by and by the way. Not here long, don't waste a day. Sound. Some of those lost don't wanna be found. We drift, and away the wind blows, flame by flame and ash by ash, lest we forget to remember the past. Don't get caught up, be here now, by the by and by the way.
Brand new from Lucas Gallo solo, that is called By the By, from his new album From the Attic, as featured in newsflector.com. And yeah, you know what? While we're at it, because I really like these guys a lot. It was quite some time ago, but let's go back in time a little bit and play something from his band Jamantics. And this is appropriate for FM radio. This is called Keep It Clean from Lucas Gallo's band Jamantics. Next on this week's Local Outbreak.
Trying to figure it out, but I want to do wrong. Take it if you want it, I can feel it if you're loud. Maybe you could try to fake it if you're lost among the crowd. I won't stand for this, nor will I stand alone. No, no, you can't get this shit together. You can't have a team get a score. You better take your rubber ball and go on in. Take your ball. My brother, then you're gonna find it. Always be in a brotherhood, in a brotherhood of trust. And if you don't look out, my brother, then you get thrown under the bus. I won't sample this, nor will I stand alone. You can't get your shit together, you can't have a team get a score. Then you're gonna take your rubber ball and go on in. Take your ball and go on. Got off on the trouble, can I believe we got off on the bus? Can I believe we got off on the trouble? Can I believe we got off on the bus? Can I believe we got off on the trouble? Can I believe we got off on the bus? Can I believe we got off on the trouble? Can I believe we got off on the bus? Can I believe we got off on the trouble? Can I believe we got off on the bus? Can I believe we got off on the trouble? Can I believe we got off on the bus? Can I believe we got off on the trouble? Can I believe we got off on the bus? Can I believe we got off on the trouble? Can I believe we got off on the bus? Can I believe we got off on the trouble? Can I believe we got off on the bus? Can I believe we got off on the trouble? Can I believe we got off on the bus? Take your bike, go home. Take your bike, go home. Take your bike, go home. Take your bike.
It's Local Outbreak with IPMNation.com.
Welcome back, everybody. It's Local Outbreak on IPM Nation and 100.1 The Planet. Matt Connarton from IPMNation.com for you. And hope you've enjoyed my interview with Rob Kleiner, of course, a musician and journalist based here in New Hampshire, and talking about his new site, Newsflector, newsflector.com. And I want to remind you, of course, that is a great site for New Hampshire-based news, but also New Hampshire-based music, as there's music reviews and articles on there for musicians from the Granite State, and there will be plenty more of that in the future, as Rob did assure us. So be sure to check out the site, newsflector.com. By the way, Rob's old site, yourband.info, that is also still active. And while, these days Rob is focused on Newsflector, yourband.info has a lot of great archived music and articles and reviews and interviews on that as well. So I recommend checking that out, yourband.info. And that is a great primer for New Hampshire-based music. And in a moment, we do have time for one more song, so we're gonna share something a little bit special. But I want to also remind you, of course, if you want to check out the archive of the show, you can go to ipmnation.com/local outbreak, where we have archived every episode going all the way back to the beginning. It's been 10 and a half years of Local Outbreak. So everything is there. It's all free. You can stream it. You can download it. You can keep it forever and ever. And I recommend that. And, of course, also you can find out how to get in touch with the show if you'd like to submit something, make a suggestion, send us an MP3, maybe schedule an interview. All the social media links are there. Everything is there at ipmnation.com/local outbreak. And also, if you're interested in what I do and other media projects and so forth that I'm involved in, you can go to my new website, mattconnerton.com. It's a pretty light site at the moment as far as content, but there will be a lot more added to it in the very near future, mattconnerton.com. And we're going to wrap up this week's show with a track from Rob's, I believe this came out in 2015, Rob's solo release. The name of the song is Leopold, and this is featured on yourband.info, but since we opened with Rob with our wonderful discussion, I thought we'd close with a song from his illustrious solo career as a musician. And hopefully Rob will be doing more music in the future, but, he's so busy now in terms of the journalism that I don't know if he'll come back to it. I suspect that he will. He's a very, very talented guy. So anyway, we will close with this. This is Leopold by Rob Kleiner, to wrap up this week's Local Outbreak on IPM Nation and 100.1 The Planet.
This world ain't too perfect, but you're working on it, and somehow I know you'll get it fixed. You're just too pretty, you're smart and you're witty. This world ain't too complex for you. You
Local Outbreak with IPMNation.com.